on the exterior of the van, using the small key on your key ring, we have a barbecue point, of which you'll have like an adapter inside your book pack. We take the red cap off. Your adapter will fit into this unit here. Once that is located in, you'll be able to turn the gas supply on at this point there. When it's done, we can small key and lock that off for here. Here we have your flue for your water heater. You have the air intake for your flue on the outside, and the exhaust gases will come out the middle here, of which you will notice there'll be water dripping out there. That's just normal condensation that you get from the water heater. Be careful when you've got the door open, as this can obviously generate heat close to the door, so do be careful not to have the boiler on for too long on gas with your door open. Here we have your fridge vents to allow for the ventilation at the back of the fridge to allow the unit to work correctly. As we looked at before, we have the toilet cassette, we have your hookup point, and here we have a main socket, a 12-volt socket, and exterior TV point. The standard fit for these is on a European plug, so if you was going to use this on a UK style plug, you will need an adapter. Here we have your garage, of which we have your seat bases in there. You have a light at the top, and you have the location of your awning handle, which is on the rear wall. You can have access obviously to the other side of the garage. Waste point drain, which is indicated by the sticker. Gas locker, as we have already discussed. And your onboard freshwater tank, where your drain valves are also located. We have your fuel cap and your AdBlue fill point on the near side. The diesel cap uses the Fiat key. We insert the key and turn it anti-clockwise. This will allow you to remove the fuel cap. Putting it back in, we locate the cap in and turn the key clockwise. It's located in. The AdBlue is just a twist and lock. Here we have the release for the bonnet. Shows you your tyre pressures if you need to check them, or need to check what they should be. Bonnet, you have the release lever in the centre and your stay, which is located to the red tab there. Under here we have engine coolant, we have your brake fluid, we have your screen wash top up. If you want to or need it to jump start your vehicle, you have a small screwdriver to insert here that will allow you to pop open this connection here. That will expose the live terminal. The earth will be put onto this bolt here, which is dedicated for jump starting. Your 12-volt fuses for the habitation area is under the passenger seat. We fold down the front cover, and under the front, behind the wiring, you'll see the fuse box where you'll find the wiring, the fuses for all your lighting system, water pump, etc. Start with the water system. To get into the water system, we've got this locker here. We use the one key that we have here. When the lock is locked, it's solid. So we put the key in, a quarter of a turn. That will allow you to open up this door here. Your freshwater tank, and we'll find your drain valves, which for your boiler and your cold water system, which are found just inside here. You've got the yellow lever, which you'll lift to 12 o'clock position for the drain down, and as you can see there, that is laying down horizontally when the drain valve is closed. We then have the black and blue valve, which I have one here to show you how that works. When it is in the closed position, you'll have the blue lever pointing left to right, as it is at the moment, and a blue button which is pressed in. When that is in that position, we can prime the system up, which we'll talk about in a while. When you want to manually drain your boiler off when you put it into storage, we are going to twist this lever 90 degrees and the button will then pop out, and this will drain the water out of your boiler onto the floor. When we want to fill the system up, we're going to first turn the lever to that position there. This will then allow us to press this button in at that point there. This valve also has a second function where it is a frost protection. So if the temperature of the van, internal temperature, drop below 3 degrees centigrade, the lever is going to stay in place, but this button here will pop out and it will drain the boiler out, drain the water out of your water heater, thus protecting it from frost damage. Want to come to fill the water tank up. If we have a look at the top of the tank, we have this valve here. You'll turn it anti-clockwise to drain the water out of your tank. When you want to fill it, we're going to close the valve. We're going to close the black and blue valve and lay the yellow lever down to the 12 o'clock position, the 3 o'clock position. We are then going to take the cap off with a hose pipe. We can then fill your freshwater tank. The freshwater tank has a gauge on the control panel, which we'll look at when we get inside, and also we'll talk about how to prime the system up when we get inside. A drain point here. There is a plastic handle that goes onto here. You turn and that will drain off your grey water from your sink and shower out of this drain point here. So in this locker here we have the gas. Using the same key, and this lock is locked, it's solid. Turn anti-clockwise, this allows you to open the handle and put the door into that position. Inside here we have a bulk head regulator here, which is connected to the gas bottle via this pigtail that we see here. This is on a propane connection. To get this system working, we turn the gas on via the tap on top of the tank. We then have a surge arrestor valve which we press. That will prime the gas from the bottle to the regulator. The reason why we have that button on there is to allow you to have the gas on whilst you're travelling. If there was an accident and a gas pipe was ruptured, the surge arrestor valve will stop any gas leaking from the gas bottle. So here we have your main control panel for your motorhome. We have your 12 volt on off switch here. We then can check by using the engine battery by using this switch here, of which you've got the LEDs. We can check the leisure battery voltage. We can see by this light here that we can see that we have actually got mains power coming into your van. Next button along is your waste tank, of which we have, it goes up in segments there, and your fresh is at the top. This button here is what we'll turn on when we've filled up the tank, your freshwater tank, and we want to prime the water system. We turn the power on to the pump like so. Once we have done that, you're going to put it over to the cold side, and we're going to turn the tap on till you get an even flow on the cold side of the tap. Once that is done, you'll then go into the bathroom. You'll prime up the cold on the shower and the bathroom sink. Once that is done, you're then going to put it to the hot side of the tap. Now initially, when you have a boiler that is drained, this will then bleed the air out of the boiler, so it will take about 1 minute or so while it spits and spurts the air out the system. Once the boiler is bled out, you'll get an even flow of water. You can see here, it's just bleeding the air out of the boiler. Once the air is bled out of the boiler, you'll get a constant stream of water. You'll do the same again in the bathroom, on the shower, and then on the sink. Once this is done, you'll be able to operate the water heater. So this is the control panel for your combi boiler. This is for the hot water and the blown air heating system. So first of all, we're going to switch the unit on by pressing the button like so. On this screen here, we can see the little icon here, which is showing that we have mains power coming into the unit, and it's showing the time. If I just press the button once, we can see that we have these icons that we can select by turning the button here. When the icon is flashing, we can press the button. The first one is being for your room temperature. So press it, and then you'll set your desired room temperature right up to 30 degrees. Once you're happy with the temperature that you've selected, press the button once. You're then going to turn the dial again, press the button from the thermostat. This is your water heater. So first of all, you got off, you've got the eco, which is the most common use, and this is hot water up to 40 degrees. You then have hot, where this is hot water up to 60 degrees. But 40 degrees is more than hot enough for general use. Once you've selected the correct water temperature you want, you're then going to turn the dial to the power selection. This unit can use gas, and it uses mains power to heat the water and the air. So we'll go back. If you scroll in left and right, you have all the options. So here we have gas only, which is shown by the solid gas bottle at the top. We'll talk about mix 1 and mix 2 in a second. You've got like electric 1, which is 900 watts of mains power. You use this one if you are on a campsite where you've got low amperage like option. You then have electric 2. This is 1.8 kilowatts on mains, of which you'll get the icon. 2 thunder flashes for electric 2, 1 thunder flash for electric 1. We also have a mix 1 and mix 2 option. This is basically using gas and mains power combined. This is good if you're using it on the winter setting for blown air heating and hot water, whereas it will use gas like initially to heat the water and the heating in your room temperature, and then use mains power to maintain. We have gas and electric 1, or mix 2 is gas and 1.8 kilowatt. We use mix 1 and mix 2 for your winter option, as I said. We use electric 1 and 2 for your hot water only, for your summer setting. Electric 1 and 2 is not strong enough to heat the room and the hot water at the same time, but it is sufficient to heat the water up for your summer setting. As we can see here, let me go back to the home screen. I can see that is flashing, and it will alternate between the time and the temperature that you've set it to at 23 degrees. The reason why that is flashing, it means the room has not reached the temperature that you've set it to. Once your room has reached 23 degrees, that will become solid. As we can see here, you've got your eco water icon, which is solid, so I know I've got my hot water is now at 40 degrees. And I can see my power selection is on the mix 2. Moving along, this one is to control the fan speed for your blown air heating. It is naturally set to eco. Do not alter this, just leave it on the eco setting. Moving along, you can now see this icon flashing at the bottom. Here we can set a timer that your heating or hot water comes on, if you want to set it to come on at a certain time in the morning and then switch off. Moving along, we can see the clock flashing. If I press, I can then change the time on the clock to suit whatever time zone you're in. The next one along is more for the technician to alter the temperature settings on your control panel, or the brightness of the control panel, or you want it on a 12 or 24-hour clock. More information of this will be in your handbook, which you'll find in your book pack. When you have finished using the system, we're going to press and hold, and that will turn off the unit. If the boiler has been on for a short period of time, the word off will be visible in the control panel. That is while the unit is going through a cool down process. Once the word off is gone off, the boiler is in full shutdown. So here we have your fridge. Your fridge is a 3-way fridge, whereas it uses gas, mains electric and 12 volts with the auto selection, which we'll explain. Turn the unit on by pressing that button there. We'll have the icon lit up depending on what option we have. We have the 12 volt option for whilst you're driving, the gas, and we have your mains when you got the hookup connected. You can manually select these three by pressing the mode button at the top. The fourth option that we have is the automatic energy selection. How this system works is it will look like initially for the mains hookup, if it shows that the mains power is there, it will use mains power to power your fridge. If it detects no mains power, it will then look for 12 volt. If the engine's running, it will use the 12 volt power to power your 12 volt element. If the engine's not running, it will then automatically light on gas. If you was then to put the mains hookup in whilst it was on gas, it will then change automatically to mains power. Whereas also, if you was to start the engine, take the mains hookup out and start the engine, it will automatically change on to 12 volt. This will take about 10-15 seconds. The only difference being is when you turn off the engine, it will initially look for the mains power. Say that you pulled into a fuel station, it will initially look for the mains power. If there's no mains power, it will wait a quarter of an hour before it lights on gas, because you don't want a naked flame in a fuel station. So it always wait a quarter of an hour before it automatically tries to select gas power. Once we've selected the power that we want to power our fridge, we can set the temperature by just scrolling through the thermostat button here. That being obviously the coldest setting. The temperature setting that you're going to set it to is dependent on the ambient temperature outside and how much food you have loaded into your fridge. The cooler it is outside, the less you have in the fridge, you'd want it on the lower setting. The warmer it is outside, the more you have in your fridge, obviously you've got to set it higher. The way that we get into our fridge, you have a travel safety catch where it's sprung loaded. That allows us to open the fridge. If you don't, it's just going to be locked in that position. So we release and then open up. When you are on site, if you don't want to keep opening up this catch, which you can see here, you've got the lock, we can pull it to the right and click it, and then we can just use the fridge normally. But while you're traveling, you need to be in that position so the door doesn't come open in transit. On the inside of the fridge, we have our freezer compartment at the top. This can be opened either left or right. Not forgetting to put that off. Fail on the energy selection that you've chosen. Say your mains trip is tripped out on the post, you'll have a light flash under the warning triangle, and the power that you've selected will also flash, so it will tell you that you have not got mains power. Also, if it fails on gas, again, if you run out of gas, an icon will flash under the triangle, and obviously the light will flash under the flame, showing that you have got no gas left, and to check your supply. To turn the unit off, we're just going to press and hold, and that will turn the unit off. The last thing to show is when you have it in storage, we have a little catch here that's located there, so you can locate it onto the pin, so it's vented off while you got it in storage. We have a 3-burner hob, and we have a grill, and we have the oven. We're going to press the gas valve in and turn it on, and then we've got the igniter at the side. With this particular system, we have to press and hold the gas valve in, because we have a safety feature called a thermocouple that we have to warm up. This is to enable the gas valve to stay open. The reason why we do this, if you have the burner on, a gust of wind should happen to blow the flame out, the thermocouple will cool and it will shut the gas off at the gas valve, so you haven't got gas pumping into your vehicle. You can have on the high and the low setting. When you're using your grill, you've got the door, it just closes down like here. You've got your grill pan with your handle located inside, and the handle attaches like so. So here we have the control knob for the grill and the oven. So the grill has one position, turn it clockwise and hold the igniter down, and as you can see we have the flame there. When you're using the grill, we have a heat shield here to keep the heat away from the cooker knobs, and that can be pushed back in like so. We then have the oven control. Again, we can see the flame at the back. Keep the gas valve pressed in for a short while to make sure the thermocouple heats up. Once you have the oven on, you can set it to wherever you want to do your cooking, and then to turn off, just turn it back to the 12 o'clock position there. We have your toilet. The bowl can be moved around so you can basically get comfortable. Your flush button, this will put the water around the bowl and you can fill the bowl up, as we can see just inside there. You do what you got to do. When you're finished, we are going to release the waste into the cassette by pushing the lever across. This opens the blade and the waste drops into the cassette. And that has been done, you can push the lever back to the left and that closes the cassette off. When the tank is full, you'll get a red warning light to show that the tank is full and it needs to be emptied. So this is the options for your rear bed. We have a pull-out step, get in and out at the bottom there. To put that step back in, there's a little black lever which we press down, and that allows us to lock that step back in place. The second option that we have an infill cushion, of which we have the hooks on the side, and they are going to hook over the woodwork on the left and right. We hook the cushion onto the woodwork, and the same again this side, making sure they are located in place. Which is hooked onto the woodwork to allow you to get in and out of the bed. The front bed, before we lower the bed down, we're going to lower those two back cushions. We have a key on this control panel here, so it can't be accidentally lowered. Put the key in and turn it to the on position. This will allow us to press the down and drop the bed down. It will come to a natural stop. We can then have the second ladder, which will hook into there and allow you to get in and out of the bed. Safety nets. Two for this side, which are hooked on to these points here, and there's one at the rear, at the front of the bed, that hooks onto the silver clips you can see above on the bulkheads for safety. When they're not in use, they can be put underneath. When we're done, we can raise the bed, pressing the button here, and the bed will come to a natural stop in the upper position, and then we can turn the key off at that point there. Your lounge table, it can be folded like so to give you more room, or to use the extension, you pull the framework out and that easily drops into place there. We can also position the table in various places. To be able to do that, there's a release lever under here. We pull the lever down. That allows us to move the table to our desired position. Once in place, we can lock that off like so, and then we can turn the table also to give you the best position that you need. So in the rear of the vehicle we have two options to have two people sat with seat belts. We remove this cushion like so, also this one here. At the moment we'll release this cushion here so I can show you how the backrest is attached. When we have this open, we can see this metal framework with the two locking tabs here and these two posts here. These are going to locate these two pegs here, and the slots are what the locking tabs are going to lock into. So we take the seat rest, relocate that into place. As you can see, we can now tighten up the lock tabs. And we can put the base cushion in place, and that is the offside seat. Okay, so for the near side seats, we remove the cushion. Small infill. Seat base. And also a small one at the front. From here we'll be able to raise this section here, for which you've got a lock tab there. We have two release levers under here that will allow us to drop that down here. As with the offside seat, make sure we've got the seat belt buckle exposed, and we lock, same principle, the backrest into place with the lock tabs that we have here. Once that is secured, we can put our base cushion back in place. Like so. For your mains 230 volt trips are under the offside rear bed, which we can see there. So the awning handle, as we said, is located in the garage on the back wall. We can undo that lock nut, and this will allow us to extend the handle. We then have a T-bar, which is located at the rear, and we push it up, quarter a turn, and down, and that will lock into place. Once it's locked into place, turn it to here, we lower the leg down, stop it stuck again, to a height where we can get to this inner part of the rail. Once we got to this position, we can release the legs by pulling back on this UJ joint here. Release, drop the leg down, lock that leg into place. I'm going to do the same on this side. Lower this leg down again, take some tension, the weight of the one in. That allows us then to wind, walk the legs out.